Sydney Harbour, February 2009. A diver moves through the dark on a routine training exercise. He has no idea something 3 meters long is already circling beneath him. In the next 8 seconds, his life splits into a before and an after. And by the end of this case file, you'll know exactly what saved him and what almost didn't. This channel opens one real documented case every week. No reenactments, no shock bait, just what actually happened and the survival lessons hiding inside it. If that's your kind of thing, hit subscribe now so you don't lose this channel in your feed. Because what happens in the next 9 minutes is going to change how you think about murky water forever. His name was Paul de Gelder. Before that night, he wasn't a shark expert. He wasn't even someone who liked being around sharks. He'd later admit he was genuinely afraid of them, the same as most of us. But Paul wasn't an ordinary diver. He'd fought his way out of a difficult childhood and into one of the most elite units in the Australian Defence Force. First as a paratrooper, then as a Navy clearance diver. That role demands total composure underwater, in the dark, under pressure most people will never face in their lives. Years of training to stay calm when everything in your body wants to panic. That night, his unit was running a counter-terrorism training exercise in Sydney Harbour, practicing the kind of underwater operations that keep major ports secure from threats most of us never think about. It was meant to be routine. He'd done dives like it dozens of times. Here's what he didn't know. Sydney Harbour isn't just a training ground. It's also home territory for one of the ocean's most misunderstood predators. And that night, one of them was already in the water with him, long before he ever entered it. Visibility in Sydney Harbour at night drops to almost zero. You don't see danger coming in water like that. You feel it, a fraction of a second before it's already happening. A bull shark, later estimated at around 3 meters, was already circling. Bull sharks are among the most dangerous species on Earth, not because they're the biggest, but because they tolerate murky, shallow, populated water better than almost any other shark species alive. They hunt exactly where humans swim, dive, and train, which is part of what makes them so much more dangerous in practice than sharks that stay in open, clear water. Paul never saw it coming. In a single bite, the shark took his right hand and right leg. He later described staying fully conscious through the entire attack. Unlike many survivors who report shock numbing the pain almost instantly, Paul felt every second of it. And here's the part of the story that matters more than the attack itself. Paul didn't freeze. Years of training took over in an instant. He fought back, striking at the animal, actively trying to survive the encounter instead of just enduring it. His unit pulled him from the water and got him into emergency care within minutes. That single decision, to fight instead of freeze, is very likely the reason he's alive to tell this story today. We'll come back to exactly why in a minute.
Quick fact before we go further, because it matters for what's coming. Bull sharks are responsible for more confirmed attacks on humans in shallow coastal water than almost any other species, precisely because of where they choose to hunt. Keep that in mind, because it's about to explain something. Back to Paul.
So, let's break down exactly what made this attack possible, and what made survival possible, because both halves matter just as much. Risk factor 1, visibility. Bull sharks rely on murky water to hunt undetected. Sydney Harbour at night is close to a shark's ideal hunting condition, not because the harbour is shark-infested, but because low visibility strips away the early warning signals both predator and prey normally depend on. Risk factor 2, bull sharks specifically. Unlike great whites, which favor open, clearer water, bull sharks tolerate brackish, murky, harbor-adjacent environments. which means they show up in places people assume are safe, precisely because those places don't look like classic shark territory. This is the mistake almost everyone makes, and it's the single biggest reason this case matters to you, even if you never plan to dive in a harbor at night. Risk factor 3. The instant of contact. Even with a full team nearby, the attack itself happened in a fraction of a second, alone in the dark. No amount of backup helps in that exact moment, which is exactly why what happens in your own head matters so much. Now, the survival factors, because this is the half nobody talks about enough. Paul didn't go passive. Training kicked in, and he fought rather than froze. Every expert on shark attack response points to active resistance as one of the only things a victim can actually control in that moment. Sharks are far more likely to disengage from something that fights back than something that goes still.
His team extracted him fast. Blood loss, not the bite itself, is what kills most attack victims. Speed to medical care is often the single biggest variable in whether someone survives at all. He stayed conscious and communicative, which almost certainly helped responders act quickly and correctly instead of guessing. If you ever find yourself diving or swimming in murky, brackish, or harbor-adjacent water, especially at dawn, dusk, or night, you are in exactly the conditions bull sharks are built to hunt in. The takeaway isn't never swim. It's this: learn to read visibility itself as the danger, not just whatever you assume might be swimming in it.
Paul lost his hand and his leg that night. What he didn't lose was who he was. In the years since, he's rebuilt his entire life around the very animal that nearly ended it, becoming a shark conservation advocate, a Discovery Channel Shark Week host, and a speaker who's worked with some of the most demanding audiences in the world. He didn't just survive the attack. He changed his whole relationship with the fear it created in him. That's the part most retellings of shark attacks skip entirely. The attack is the easy part to tell. What someone does afterward is the harder story, and it's almost always the one worth remembering the most. So here's your case file summary in one rule. Your environment tells you the risk before the animal ever does. Murky water, low light, harbor zones, that's the warning sign, whether or not you ever actually see what's in it with you. If this case taught you something, that's exactly what this channel is for. Hit subscribe if you haven't yet, because next week's case file is a saltwater crocodile attack, where the survivor did almost everything the guides tell you never to do, and lived anyway. You'll want to see how. I'll see you in the next file.